So I've been tiptoeing my way into backpacking this year. I've already been on a couple of winter camping trips and feel like I have my budget set up pretty well dialed in. A lot of it was DIY, a lot of it was thrifted. I'm happy to be getting into this new category of backpacks with everyone, and so happy to be able to go out this year and do more backpacking and more camping. So starting off with the pack here, this is the Teton Sports Explorer 4000. I picked this up secondhand on Facebook Marketplace for 20 bucks, but it goes for around $80, I believe, on Amazon brand new. And for a budget bag, it's held up surprisingly well. It's definitely not going to be the most comfortable, but it has taken quite a heavy load from me with my camera gear and my budget equipment, and it hasn't broke on me yet, and I haven't really had any problems with it. Starting here, I have a Essentia water bottle. I've been reusing this for quite a while. I actually take it out on a lot of photography gigs with me because I have to carry my backpack and every pound matters. This is quite a bit lighter than most other water bottles on the market. And right below that here, I keep my bear hang kit. I actually have some paracord here that I ordered on Amazon, and this here is just a combination of bags I had around the house. You want to have a bigger bag to store all of your food in and a smaller bag for pebbles so you can throw it over the tree. We don't have any grizzlies here in Oregon, but we do have black bears and critters that can get into your food, so you want to make sure and hang it whenever you can. This was just from some reusable battery in my Miscellaneous tech bag pouch, and this here was actually from packaging from the Harvest backpack that I reviewed recently. You can purchase bear bag kits if you want something a bit more dedicated, but luckily I was just able to find this stuff around the house, so it saved me some cash. And right beneath that, I actually have my tent stakes for my tent. This water bottle holder has a slide-through pocket that goes behind both of these pockets here, which is really nice. So I have my tent stakes on the bottom and the tent poles sticking up out of the top. And on the other side here, I have this big compartment. This is normally where my snacks go, you know, Clif Bars, peanut butter, things like that. If I'm on a longer hike, I can just easy access grab that. And in the other water bottle here, I have some poles for a lightweight camping chair. And let me flip this around here and grab the fabric. In the top brain part of the bag, I like to store the actual chair part. This comes in right around 2 pounds and is $30. They have some lighter weight ones, but they're gonna be about 4 or 5 times the cost. This thing has been surprisingly sturdy and quality for what you get. I actually have scoliosis and a few other back problems, so I really like to bring a camping chair out with me. I know it's a bit of a luxury item, but definitely an important one for me. Also in the brain, I keep my rain jacket. This is just my jacket that I usually use around the city. It's the Marmot Precip. It actually folds into its own pocket, which is really nice. Right around a pound, if memory serves me right. I picked this up back in 2016. Great jacket if you need one. Opening up the main compartment here, you really do get a lot of space with this bag. It's 65 liters. And like I said, for 20 bucks especially, I've been really impressed with it. Let me know if you want to see a full review or anything. I'd be more than happy to cover it in more detail. But in the top here, I have my entire cook system. I really wanted to aim to keep everything inside the small pot. Starting off with the pot here, this came in a pot and bowl set for $11.99. If I do want to bring two, they stack onto each other. Really great if Camille decides to come out with me on the trail or out to a campsite, we can both eat at the same time. But for me, you know, I'm gonna drink or eat separately so I can keep everything down to one. I have just a little rubber band hair tie thing I got from my wife, and this is just a plain cotton handkerchief, really handy for you know, cleaning up any spills or wiping or having a place to set your kitchen items down that's not in the dirt. I have a little sponge, normal kitchen sponge, just cut about 1/4 of it. Works perfectly for cleaning up on the trail. Bic lighter, best fuel source for any sort of backpacking. This is just a little piece of foil. Works really well as a lid for the pot if you want it to boil faster, but it also works as a wind guard. This is the BRS Titanium Ultralight Stove. This is 25 grams. And for being, you know, kind of a budget stove, I think it's $16. This has been a real trooper out there. I've been using it in the cold winter weather. just screws right onto the top of your fuel canister. And you actually do have some settings to be able to simmer if you want. So if you want to do some backcountry cooking, something like that, it'll work really, really well. So yep, there's the flame there, so you can really control it quite a bit. And this pot also does have some fold-out handles here. These are really convenient, but I don't know if this is plastic or silicone. It has started to melt though when it gets too close to the flame. Aside from the melting though, this has been great for 12 bucks. Super lightweight, works really well. I'm able to fit my entire cooking system in here, and yeah, just nice and compact. That's always what you want when you're out on the trail. Moving on from there, we have my ditty bag. This is just kind of all the miscellaneous stuff that doesn't fit into the other categories. Starting off here, we have sunglasses. These are the Ray-Ban Light Force sunglasses. Had these for about a decade now, work great. And I always like to bring this with me, at least for the colder weather. It's a little baby thermometer. Because I don't have cell service out there, I like to check and see the temperature, especially for making videos. This is just a little budget headlamp. Takes 3 AAA batteries, works great. You have a few different settings on here. Flash you a bit, you have red and normal clear. And from there we have my toiletry kit, so to speak. I just keep it right in the ditty bag. Toilet paper and a little toothbrush. This is a foldable travel toothbrush from Muji, $2.75 I think. Super awesome, look at how lightweight that is. And then we have, this is Dr. Bronner soap. It's great because you can use it as hand wash or dishwash or even toothpaste. It's unscented too, so you're not going to attract any bears or critters. And this is my little survival emergency kit. I have a few Band-Aids and things like that. I've also incorporated a few of my other items in there. Ibuprofen, allergy medicine, and some repair tape and patches for my sleeping pad and other gear. And from there we have these 2 little bottles here. Got these for $1.25 at REI. Nalgene bottles. They are watertight, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about it spilling. This one's sunblock. This one is bug repellent. And both work really great. 1 ounce containers. You don't really need much more than that for a few days out on the trail. And this is just a basic knife I found. I don't really use this too often, but you always want to make sure and have some sort of knife out there with you. Had my eyes on the Squirt ES4 from Leatherman, but this was about 1/4 of the cost and has been working perfectly fine for me. Mylar emergency blanket. Not much to say about that. And this is just a little bit of fire starter with another hair tie. A lot of these rubber bands and hair ties come in handy for all sorts of random things, so I like to stick a few in there. And this fire starter is called Sweet Fire, I think. And this bag is actually my travel quart-size liquid TSA bag that I normally bring. Also very inexpensive. Links to everything will be in the description down below too if anyone's interested. Moving on from there, I have my travel tripod. This is the Suray 1205-X. It weighs like 1.8 pounds, I believe. And very inexpensive compared to a lot of its other competitors. Would highly recommend this thing. I did a full video on it in the past too, if you're interested. Next up we have food storage. This is pretty empty because I did just get back, but this is an op sack. It's 12 by 20, completely waterproof and smell proof. Really good and important to have when you're out in bear country so you don't attract any bears to your campsite or your cooking area. From there we have part of my sleep system. This is the Trekology Ultralight Pillow, a Left 2.0. This thing is a couple of ounces and is very, very comfortable. I'm a side sleeper, so having a pillow is a huge plus for me when I'm out at a campsite or on the trail. And then this is the Perea Outdoor Products Recharge XL. This was probably my biggest investment out of anything. It was $85, but going out in the winter, you want to make sure that you're insulated from the ground. It has a 4.7 R value, so it's good for 4 seasons, but it's not going to make you warm in the summer. 4 inches, so really great for side sleeping. Comes in at 25 ounces, a little bit heavier than some of the other ultralights out there, but I like that it is 4 seasons, so it's gonna be the most versatile, something I can use year round and keep for years to come. Next up, we have my camera equipment. I will say most of it is in use to shoot this video right now, so it's relatively empty, but this is a new pickup for me as well. It's the S-Zone waterproof camera case. I actually have been using and recommending a smaller S-Zone camera case for quite a few years. Cubes are really great because you can use any sort of backpack and kind of turn it into a camera bag. And I like that this one is relatively thin and compact, but I'm able to fit all of the kit I need out there. You have quite a few compartments. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the camera equipment, but let me know if you want to see maybe in a separate video. Brought out 2 lenses with me, the Sony a7 III, spare battery, charger, a couple of battery banks and things like that as well. No need to get into all of that tech specs for any of the non-photographers, but keep me posted if you do want to see it in the future. Lastly, in the main compartment, we have my clothes. These are just some basic winter gloves I found at TJ Maxx on clearance. I think they were $7 or $8. I'm not even sure the brand. It says vintage 1948. Not sure, but they worked really well for me. And I have a little Amazon Basics packing cube here. All I have for extra clothes is a set of PJs. I have sweatpants, sweatshirt, and a dry pair of socks. And then I packed an extra pair of underwear and then an extra pair of socks for the daytime. These are some lightweight liner socks. If anyone needs to avoid blisters while they're out on hikes, these work really, really well. Very inexpensive too and can add some extra insulation. And then these were just some weatherproof clearance socks I found also at TJ Maxx when I got the gloves. To finish off my sleep system, I have this bag here. This is the Coleman North Rim 0 degree bag. This thing is obnoxiously large. It was $50. It weighs about 5 pounds. If anyone watched my video from last week, you shouldn't be skimping on sleeping bags. I almost got hypothermia when I was out a couple of weeks ago using a cheaper bag. So I decided to sacrifice some convenience and weight and bulk in order to stay nice and warm. A couple of nights out on this thing though, and it has been absolutely incredible. For the bulk, you do get a lot of comfort and a lot of warmth. Usually with backpacking equipment, you kind of have to pick 2, whether it be price, quality, or weight. And the first time around, I went with lower weight and lower price and almost froze. So I went with higher quality and a little bit heavier for this round, and it has not disappointed. It's a synthetic bag, so that's what makes it so heavy, but it has a ton of warmth and loft. Really nice drawstring hood. There are also some really good draft collars built in that worked impressively well. Yeah, I was toasty warm in 35 degrees in this thing, and I definitely knew it was working because if I put even an arm outside of the sleeping bag, it was brutally cold. So this thing performed really, really well. If you can deal with the extra weight, I would highly recommend it. Definitely looking into some long-term down options, but those can be several times the cost of this for a budget one. So in the meantime, got to carry a bit more weight, but I'm going to stay safe and warm using this thing. Zippers are also really, really sturdy and quality. I was really, really impressed. I figured, Coleman's kind of like the Walmart brand of camping equipment, but everything worked perfectly on that thing. So check it out if you need a new sleeping bag, especially if you're a car camper. And in the bottom part here where the sleeping bag would normally go, I have my shelter. This is just a basic cheap tarp that I already owned. It's much larger than I need for a tent footprint, but save some money because I already owned it. No sense in buying something extra for right now. I would recommend if you're looking to buy something new, they make Tyvek sheeting that can be the same size as your tent for really, really inexpensive and also really, really lightweight. Great for backpacking. That's probably what I'll do in the future, but in the meantime, this has been working really well. And last but not least, we have my tent. This is the Coleman Sun Dome tent, and it's about 5.5 pounds with the poles and the stakes that I had inside here, and it was $38. This thing is obnoxiously cheap. It's definitely not going to be the lightest, but as you can see, it packs up reasonably small, so it's totally feasible to be able to carry something like this if you're on a budget and you still want to go out backpacking. And that is kind of the theme of everything here. You know, I put off for so long on getting gear because I wanted to have really nice lightweight gear and just have an excellent time. Well, you know, I was able to find a budget setup that worked really well for me, and I'm super excited to be going out and spending some nights out in the wilderness this year. You know, I've been an avid day hiker for a lot of years and used to do a lot of camping back when I lived in Michigan. So this is gonna be my year of camping. Stay tuned for more of those types of videos. Hopefully you enjoy them. As you guys know, I do all sorts of different videos here. So be sure to like it if you enjoyed this. Let me know what your setup looks like down below in the comments. But I'll talk to everyone next week, and thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.